Welcome to the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyre here with you ahead of this afternoon's game between the Blue Jackets and the St. Louis Blues. This game being presented by Nationwide, recognizing agency of the game Levitt Group Midwest. The Blue Jackets coming into this one off a disappointing 7-2 loss to the Washington Capitals here at Nationwide Arena on Thursday. It's not like the Blue Jackets had a bad effort in that game, simply things didn't go the Blue Jackets' way. So an opportunity to rebound here against the St. Louis Blues, and Blue Jackets forward Justin DANFORTH says his team is going to have to be ready to go against one of the top teams in the West.
I think last game against Wash was like a weird game, I guess. It's not like we got away from our systems or, the game we wanted to play. I thought we played a hard game and we had our chances. I thought their goalie played well. It's just one of those games you just kind of have to put it in the rear view. And I think St. Louis is a similar team to Washington where, they're a physical team. Their top two lines are, super skilled. So it's going to be another test for us. There's really no easy nights in this league, so it's going to be a big bounce back game for us. It's a big chance to redeem ourselves.
Now, before we get into more about this afternoon's game between the Blue Jackets and the St. Louis Blues, of course, we are coming up on the NHL trade deadline. So I was able to catch up with Sportsnet's Jeff Marek to talk about deals around the league. Another team that's in a similar situation to the Florida Panthers is obviously the Colorado Avalanche, a team that seemingly is going all in. They and the Panthers have been linked to just about every possible guy that's going to be traded out there. One of those players is Claude Giroux. Looks like he might be becoming a Florida Panther, so obviously Bill Zito not done there, but any chance we see him in Colorado?
There's a chance. I still think that the Florida Panthers are the clubhouse favorite. And, talking to people around the Flyers on Thursday night after game number 1,000 for Claude Giroux, it seemed as if, how shall I say this? The Florida Panthers understand that they are the preferred destination for Claude Giroux. So perhaps they feel they don't need to step up the way that the Colorado Avalanche do. Now, as I understand it today, as we have this conversation, the Colorado offer is better than the Florida Panthers offer. So I don't think it's 100% that he goes to Florida. That is the preferred destination. I still don't count Colorado out. I'm not sure how serious it ever got between the Flyers and the New York Rangers or the Flyers and the Boston Bruins. To me, it still looks like it's coming down to two teams. And I think that Bill Zito knows that that's where Giroux wants to go. So I think that Zito's grinding the Flyers here a little bit, knowing that, Claude Giroux has to wave to go somewhere, and he wants to go to Florida. And I think he's taking that advantage and using it to the best of his benefit here.
All right, talk to me about Marc-Andre Fleury. It's been rumored that the Washington Capitals have really been coveting Marc-Andre Fleury for a long time. Toronto Maple Leafs now may be in that conversation, but it's going to come down to what Fleury wants to do, correct?
Yeah, it will. And I don't know that Fleury gets I think he does. Now, there's a couple of sensitivities here. Now, we don't know whether he wants to get traded to. Well, and first of all, let me preface this. Marc-Andre Fleury will only go to a team he believes can win. Now, Edmonton is interested and has been interested before. The Toronto Maple Leafs, although I think their one move is going to be for a defenseman, they've had some goaltending issues, although Eric Källgren has kind of turned the temperature down a little bit recently with a couple of good performances here and a couple of wins. So that's taken it down a notch in Toronto, but that they would be interested. They just lost Joseph Woll, who's a goaltender with the Marlies, injured in a game against Hershey. So organizationally, their goalie depth isn't exactly great when you couple that with the fact that Jack Campbell is out with a rib injury. Does Marc-Andre Fleury think Toronto can win? Big question for him. Does Marc-Andre Fleury think the Edmonton Oilers can win? And then complicating things with the Washington Capitals, and as much as, they've deferred now to Vitek Vanacek, and he seems to be their guy, they're still interested in Marc-Andre Fleury. Two things. Does Marc-Andre Fleury think he can win with the Washington Capitals? And does Marc-Andre Fleury, in his mind, want to go back to Pittsburgh one day before the career is all said and done? And what will that mean to him to go to the Washington Capitals before going back to Pittsburgh? We all know the tough rivalry between these two teams. So I think that complicates things. This is a long-winded way of essentially of me of saying, I think Fleury ends up getting traded, but I don't think this is a layup by any stretch of the imagination.
So plenty of action brewing around the National Hockey League, but right now it's time to shift gears and focus on this afternoon's game between the Blue Jackets and the Blues. And for more, here are Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.
Well, the Blue Jackets come into this game tonight, Jody, after losing 7-2 to Washington, a game they played well in, but the score doesn't reflect that whatsoever. So today they're looking to rebound. That's something they've done well throughout the year.
You know what, Bob? This last 6-7 weeks, they've played some really, really good hockey. And, you know, the way they stick together as a team, the way they come out and face a challenge, it doesn't matter the opponent. They understand the brand of hockey they have to play, especially right here at Nationwide Arena. So I expect a rebound. It's going to be a tall task. But, yeah, the other night they played hard. They went head-to-head in a back-to-back contest with the Washington Capitals, a big game they wanted. You know, they had a big storyline there, the team they're trying to catch. But, yeah, 20 games left on the season. Tonight ends a pretty good homestand. They've been home for 9 of 11. So finish this off right and then head down the road to Pittsburgh.
This is a team that they've had trouble with, the St. Louis Blues. Not just the Blue Jackets, by the way. A lot of teams in this league have trouble with St. Louis. But they're a big team. They can push you around. Personally, I think they've done that more in their building than they have on the road. But they have that ability to do that. How do the Blue Jackets counter that?
Well, there's a simplicity to the Blue Jackets game, and when they play it, they give every team, it doesn't matter how big or how physical they are, they give them a tough time, and it's really getting out of their own zone clean and entering the zone clean. Last game, the goals scored were really lost in the neutral zone and at the blue line. So for the Blue Jackets, we talked about them being a forechecking team. They need to do that tonight. They need to put pressure down there. They've got the skill to make the plays, the Blue Jackets do. You know, they don't mind the physicality. There's some plays in some games that we've been surprised at how they rise up to that physical challenge. So tonight they've got to ignore that and get back to the focus of their game again.
The St. Louis Blues, a couple of years ago, they won the Stanley Cup. Their roster has changed here and there since that time. But, Jody, they still have talented guys. They still know how to win.
Well, Jordan Kyrou was their all-star selection this year, and he's on a career-high pace with goals. He's an elite player, and he's found his way up. He's only 23 years old. And when you look at a player like that, and you don't talk about Tarasenko, O'Reilly, the offensive output they have, and their goaltending is coming around. So this team now is going to be making a push for the playoffs, for the Stanley Cup again. They know it's at stake, and they're built that way. I think they take on the personality of their coach, their head coach, Craig Berube. He was always a fierce competitor in the National Hockey League when he played, a no-nonsense guy, and I feel like the Blues play that way. I don't mind this matchup for the Blue Jackets.
All right, that's the way we see it. For Jody Shelley, I'm Bob McElligott. Dylan, back to you.
Thanks again there to Bob and Jody. That'll do it for the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. I'm Dylan Tyre saying enjoy the game.